This is Frankie Manning, and you're listening to KRUU-LP 100.1 FM, and this is the voice of Fairfield, Iowa.
This is Sharon Bousquet, inviting you to tune in to Sleepy Time with Grandpa D. Stories, lullabies, and lots of love every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. right here on KRUU 100.1 FM, the voice of Fairfield, Iowa.
Time with Grandpa D on the radio for you and me, with stories to share for the young at heart. Won't you join us? We'd love your company.
And good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome to Sleepy Time with Grandpa D. This is Grandpa D.
And Mickey D.
And we'd like to welcome you to Sleepy Time's first anniversary show here at KRUU-LP. A thanks to Sharon Bousquet for that Sleepy Time theme song.
Yeah, that's
and
been
promo.
going on.
Mick,
Wow.
this is exciting. It's been 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year.
We've got some guests coming. We like to welcome FPAC here to our show. And they're recording us so that you can see how handsome Grandpa D really is on FPAC. Oh, and Mickey too, yeah. But we have a question for the kids out there, and that is, do you have your pajamas on?
Have you brushed your teeth?
Did you go to the bathroom and get your last glass of water?
I sure have.
And are you snug in bed? Because if you are, then you're ready for Sleepy Time. And we have a very special show in store for you. One of the things that I'm excited about, I don't know about you, Mick, is that we've got some of the best books we've read all year.
All year.
And we've read so many good ones that it's almost not fair, isn't it? I mean, we really worked hard to bring you this show. But we thought we'd give you a little sample of... we've got some great books here.
Yeah.
And Mick's going to read the first one. Before we do, you got any shout-outs you want to make?
Yeah, a shout out to all my friends that are listening, and to Grandma.
Grandma in New Jersey, and Karen, and the boys, and Laura Mon. We're happy that everybody's home safe, and... to all our friends that are listening all over the country as well as in Fairfield, because people are listening on the internet, and we're excited about that at www.kruufm.com. And I'm just excited about the show. I can't believe we've been doing this 1 year, Mick.
Yeah.
You know, now just in case you haven't been on the show, we start out with kind of do the shout outs and we talk to people. We even have somebody here in our audience that in our studio we're going to say hi to in a little bit. But you know, one of the things that we do is we kind of settle it down as the night goes on. And by the time we get to the end of the show, most of us are fast asleep. Mick, wake up. It's still early. Okay. So, here we go, Mick. You've got the first book, and I knew you would take this book. Do you mind if I write, you know, we got it's interesting that you picked this book, because we got lots of messages from people who were writers, and they wrote us, and they knew it was our 1 year anniversary. Of course, I broadcast it all over the country, but no, these, I actually didn't, but we got something from Martha Roberts, who's the office manager at Lions and Tigers and Bears Publishing. And this is from the Me and Uncle Mike books. And that's one of the books you're reading. And she said, we at
Yeah.
Lions and Tigers and Bear Publishing would like to congratulate you on Sleepy Time with Grandpa D radio show celebrating 1 year on the air. Keep up the good work and giving your listeners something to look forward to each week. So we're happy you're listening. Thanks, Martha. And not because you wrote us, but just happens to be that Mickey picked me and Uncle Mike
And the purple gorilla.
and the purple gorilla. Boy, I'm lucky you're reading it. I couldn't even say it. As you know, this me and Uncle Mike stuff is really great. We've read a couple of these books. And me is a young boy, and Uncle Mike is his just a little older, but it's his uncle. And he's still a young boy, and they basically, they tell stories that they say are true, but, well, you listen and you decide.
Back when I was a kid, one of my best friends was Uncle Mike. He was a little older than I was. We used to have a lot of fun doing things together. So I'm going to tell you a story about me and Uncle Mike and a purple gorilla. It all started when Old Faithful quit working. Old Faithful was a geyser that always squirted hot water up in the air several times throughout the day. People came from all over the world to see Old Faithful. When it quit working, people quit coming. This meant that all the park rangers were going to lose their jobs. Nobody knew what to do. So guess who they called? That's right, they called me and Uncle Mike. We got on our bikes and rode straight to Yellowstone National Park. When we got there, Uncle Mike said, "Show me that sick geezer." Geyser, sorry.
Sick Geezer's the old guy that you were talking to.
They showed us Old Faithful. We looked down into the mouth of that geyser. About 10 feet down, there was a great big old buffalo stuck in the rocks. This is why Old Faithful didn't work. Uncle Mike said there would be only one way to get that buffalo unstuck. We would have to fly him out. Uncle Mike had the park rangers get us some hot sauce and blue cheese. Me and Uncle Mike poured blue cheese and hot sauce on the back of that stuck buffalo. Then, all of a sudden, out popped some buffalo wings. Uncle Mike said, "Stand back." Next we heard woof, woof, woof. The buffalo was flapping his wings. Out he flew. He flew so far we couldn't see him. Then Old Faithful started working again. All the people came back. Everyone was happy. It was time to head home. There was a storm brewing, so we had to hurry. We rode on our bikes until the storm caught up to us. We needed a place to hole up. So we stopped and asked a farmer if we could wait the storm out in his barn. He said, "Sure, but whatever you do, don't touch my purple gorilla." Then it started thundering and lightning. We hurried and got in the barn as fast as we could. It was dark inside the barn because of the storm. When the lightning would strike, it would light up the inside of the barn. Over in the corner was a great big cage with big iron bars and a big iron door. Inside the cage was a huge mound of purple fur. This was the purple gorilla. He wasn't moving. He was just lying there. He looked pretty harmless. I dared Uncle Mike to touch the purple gorilla. Then Uncle Mike said, "I double dog dare you to touch the purple gorilla. If you don't do a double dog dare, then you're a yellow dog chicken coward. That's bad because if you're branded a yellow dog chicken coward, then anyone that can catch you on the town square after midnight can paint a big yellow streak down your back. They can use mustard to paint the yellow streak. The storm was over and the sun came out. It was time to leave and go home. If we left now, then I would be a yellow dog chicken coward. Uncle Mike said the purple gorilla looked like he was sleeping. One touch shouldn't hurt anything, I thought. I thought about it really hard. I did not want a yellow mustard streak on my back, so I decided to do it. I reached in the cage and I touched the purple gorilla. First, the purple gorilla started breathing really hard. Second, up popped 2 arms and a head. Next, he stood up on his hind legs. Then he opened his eyes. He looked right at me. He knew I was the one that touched him. He was not what you would call happy. Then he beat on his chest with his huge, powerful arms. Right now, the mustard looked better than this. The purple gorilla looked really mad. His eyes were bloodshot. He grabbed hold of the iron bars and shook them. He was so strong it shook the whole barn. Then he took his fist and slammed it against the iron door. It made a loud wham, and the iron door was knocked open. Out came the purple gorilla. Oh my! It was time to leave. I had a really big problem. The purple gorilla wanted me. Me and Uncle Mike ran out through the barn door. The purple gorilla was right behind us. Then the purple gorilla stopped and put his hand over both his eyes. He stood that way for about 10 seconds. This was my chance to get away. I needed somewhere to hide. The only place I could find was an old chicken house. So I ran, opened the door, and hurried inside. There were chickens all over the place. I crouched down between a bunch of roosting chickens. I got as quiet as I could. Then I heard the purple gorilla beat on his chest. I could hear him walking around the chicken house. Next, I heard the doorknob turn. Then the door opened. There stood the purple gorilla. He grunted really loud. Chickens flew all over the place. I ran out the other door. I was in big trouble now. The purple gorilla saw me as I ran out the chicken house. The only place I could go was into a big cornfield, so I ran as fast as I could. I turned around and looked. The purple gorilla was right behind me. It's hard to run in corn. There were cornstalks everywhere. I kept on running as best I could. The purple gorilla was gaining on me. Then I tripped over some cornstalks and fell down. The purple gorilla came right up over the top of me. He knocked down all the cornstalks around me. I figured this was the end of the line for me. I put both of my hands over the back of my head to protect myself. The purple gorilla smiled really big. Next, he took his finger, reached down, and touched me. Then he grunted, "Tag, you're it." The purple gorilla turned around and ran back into the barn. We followed him. The purple gorilla closed the door on his cage and curled up into a ball. I reached over and touched Uncle Mike. Then I said, "Tag, you're it, and no touch back." Then Uncle Mike looked into the cage at the purple gorilla. He swallowed really hard. Uncle Mike said, "We don't have time to play tag. Let's go." We thanked the farmer and got on our bikes. The farmer said we were welcome to play tag with the purple gorilla any time we want, but it's best we wake him before you touch him. If you don't believe this story, then check and see if Old Faithful is a geyser. Check and see if people eat buffalo wings. check and see, because it's like my grandpa always said, don't believe everything you hear.
And there it is, me and Uncle Mike and the Purple Gorilla. Great job, Mick. And you can go to meandUncleMike.com if you want to learn more about these books. Great. Wasn't that fun?
That was great.
Yeah. I don't know, Mick. Do you buy that whole story, or you think that maybe they're fibbing a little?
Maybe.
Well, boy, we are. That was definitely one of the craziest books we read, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah, one thing I know is Old Faithful is not an old geezer.
No,
it's an old geyser.
No, I think that's very good. That was good, though. It kind of looks like geezer, doesn't it? No, that was funny. If you're joining us late, well, you know, you're listening to Sleepy Time. We're also listening to Sleepy Time with Grandpa D here on KRUU-LP 100.1 FM, the voice of Fairfield, Iowa. And Mick, that was an amazing job. You did a great job with that book. You know, one of the things that we've really had some fun with this year is that we've had all these kind of celebrities and semi-celebrities come and join. Oh, we're getting a phone call. You think we should just answer this? Let's. KRUU. Let's try this. Hello?
It's for us.
Hello?
Hello, Dick.
Hi. Who's this?
Hello, Dick.
I know who this is.
Yes, this is Grandma D.
This is my mom. Hi, Mom. How you doing? It's your grandma.
Hey, Grandma.
I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that story about Mike.
Oh, I can. You know what? You're gonna have to turn your computer down because it's playing it a little delayed.
So, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I don't know how to turn it down.
Don't worry about it then. We're happy that you called us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's really great.
Congratulations.
We just want you to know you don't have to send us a birthday card, Grandma.
Okay.
All right.
Just send my love.
Well, thanks so much for calling.
And how much I enjoy everything.
Really appreciate it, Mom. And enjoy, hope everything's going great in New Jersey, and we'll keep on listening.
Okay, thank you. We will.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was great, Nick. Huh?
Yeah, that was really
That was
great.
really super. Well, you can always count on Mom.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Grandpa D.
Thank you very much. That was Shadoe Stevens. You know, he's the announcer for the Late Night with Craig Ferguson. And he's a great guy. Sent us that just, you know, as well as a few other promos that he did for us. But,
Didn't he also send a book or something?
well, actually, he did send a book, and I was thinking I might read it if that's all right with you.
All right, that's fine.
First, let's say hi to Solomon, huh? Solomon, are you here? Let's see. We got a guest here in the studio. Put that mic right next to yourself and say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. Good to have you here.
Thanks.
You've been on our show before, haven't you?
Yeah.
At our Christmas show last time, right?
Yep.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks for coming by. We really appreciate it. Did you like that book that Mick read? It was a little crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, if you come around, I'll read you this book called The Big Galoot. This is a fun book. You have any shout-outs you want to say hi to anybody?
No.
Okay. Well, if you think of it later, let us know. Come on around. This is a cool book, and I want you to see some of the pictures. This, Shadoe Stevens is a really great guy. By the way, he did America's Top 40 radio station. And one of the cool things about that radio station is that the radio show that he did it was the top radio show in all of America. Casey Kasem did it, and then Shadoe Stevens did it. And Shadoe Stevens, when he did it, it became the absolute #1 radio show in America. And he has a gorgeous voice, as you can see. And for free, he just did those promos for KRUU. And I just thought it was very, very nice of him. What do you think, Meg?
Yeah,
Here, let's
I think
hear
that was
another
great.
one.
Hi, I'm Shadoe Stevens, and you're listening to Sleepy Time with Grandpa D.
Oh, yeah. That's about as good as it gets. Huh?
Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
That was nice of him. Let's listen to this book. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. It's called The Big Galoot. I wonder why I like it so much. The illustrations are fabulous. Hope you enjoy this. I hope I do it justice. The Big Galoot by Shadoe Stevens. The Middleburg School, what a wonderful place. Everything went along at a Middleburg pace. Nothing demanding, never fast nor too slow. Everyone got along. They would go with the flow. They'd grin and hold hands. They felt frisky and free. They all looked the same. They would always agree. They had perfect teeth, no decay, no plaque. They had the same face, brown or yellow, white, black. They'd nod and they'd sigh, always at the same time. Their clothing was nice. All their shoes had a shine. The Middleburg motto was go your own way, but nobody went. They all wanted to stay. They had their own look. They had their own style, their very own language, the very best smile. Everything they could want, everything they could need. We're the smartest, the best, they always agreed. Then one day, 'twas a Tuesday morning, the day he arrived, the Middleburg School would never survive that shocking arrival, the one in the suit. They laughed when they saw that great big galoot. Welcome, Warren. The galoot had a grin as large as his face, a long pointed head, pointed to the wrong place. His shirt, it was wrinkled, the collar was frayed, his polka dot shorts were oh so passé. He had extra large hands he dragged through the door. His pigeon-toed feet tripped on the floor, and everyone laughed. He was clumsy, a geek. They pointed and gawked and then heard him speak. His voice was pinched up, like his tie was too tight, as if holding his nose, choked up and not right. Mrs. Gunderson said, "This is Warren Galoot." And wiping his nose on the sleeve of his suit, he said, "Gosh, nice to be here. And what a nice school. I'm not real smart, and I'm not very cool, but I try to be nice and try not to fight. I'd rather be happy than always be right. Thank you." "That's very good," Mrs. Gunderson said, and gave him a pat on the point of his head. "We hope you'll be happy. You've nothing to fear." But then, taking his seats, the kids gave a sneer. They said, "Hey, Big Galoot, your feet are turned in. Who bought you that suit? Who poked in that chin? You're pretty clumsy. Your voice is a squeak. Your head is all pointed. You look like a freak." Then they laughed, and they laughed. They snickered and spit. At recess, they tripped him. They'd pinch, shove, and hit. He was taunted and teased. They would mock, push, and chase. They'd say, "Go away. You're in the wrong place." But he did not crumble. He'd never get mad, nutty, crazy, or daffy, or gloomy, or sad. He'd say, "I'm a galoot, but I have good luck. You can't get me down. I never give up." The weeks became months, and they wouldn't stop. Tricks, frolics, and pranks, he'd go flippity-flop. There were water balloons. They'd pull out the rugs. He'd slip on banana peels, then eat a bug. They'd mock, ape, and shame him. Then steal his lunch, throw pies in his face, then give him a punch. But he didn't crack, would not be afraid. They'd give him a lemon, he'd make lemonade, saying, "I'm a galoot, but I have good luck. You can't get me down. I never give up." Then came the field trip, the one to the park. Mrs. Gunderson said, "We'll be back before dark. Let's stay together, just stay in a line, don't veer from the path, and follow the signs. The mountain is steep and we'll be up high. We'll go to the place where the ground and the sky reach out and touch, a long hike in thin air. But we'll have a good time. There are flowers everywhere. There are goats, bears, and birds. We'll stop for a snack, but stay with each other and follow the yak. The yak was a mascot at Middleburg School. Big-eyed and big-toed. Her name was Jewel. Proudly, she pranced out in front on the trail. The kids followed along, the galoot at the tail. He brought up the rear, he rumbled behind. He couldn't keep up, but he didn't mind. With no one to talk to, he whistled instead, and smelling the air, skipping, he said, I'm a galoot, but I have good luck. You can't get me down, I never give up. The kids were excited, they chattered and yammered. The trail became narrow. They stared and they stammered. Not saying a word, as the air became thin, they saw down below, back where they'd been, plodding along, floundering, dragging those pointed-toed feet, sweating and sagging. That big old galoot, that wheezing physique, never gave up to the top of the peak. Then, reaching a meadow at the edge of a cliff, they could see the whole world. Their muscles were stiff. He finally arrived as they finished their snack. He sat down to join them and opened his sack, but before he could bite, before he could drink, the ground started shaking. It started to sink. The wind began howling and the sky became gray. Mrs. Gunderson screamed, we cannot delay. Everyone up. We all must get back. A storm is coming. The sky's turning black. Wolves started howling. The air took a chill. They stayed on the trail, kept running until lightning crackled. It started to rain. When thunder clapped, they began to complain, and following Jewel, the yak in the lead, they leaned into the wind and started to plead, someone please save us. Oh, this is a curse. But around the next bend, it simply got worse. First a torrent of rain, then ground started crumbling. They jumped on a boulder, screeching and mumbling, terrified, skittish, confused, and dismayed. Their eyes were bugged out. They were really afraid. But the big galoot ambled up from the rear, waddled onto the rock. He had none of that fear. Saying, hey, I'm a galoot and I have good luck. You can't get me down. I never give up. He really annoyed them. But no one dared speak. They were 2,000 feet straight up from a creek. They looked down, they shivered, the trail fell away, and when thunder cracked, the big boulder swayed. It careened, it tottered, it wobbled and lurched. With a schloop, it was falling from where it was perched. The boulder was slooping away from the cliff, fell away from their feet. They sobbed and they sniffed. Somebody help us, somebody please. They were wet to the bone and starting to freeze. They clung to their teacher, they clung to each other, friend holding friend, every sister and brother. Arm holding arm, they held on like a chain, stretching down in the air, the wind and the rain. They were doomed, they were lost, full of fear, full of doubt, when from up above a galoot gave a shout. Hey, you guys up here, that squeaky voice said. Hey, hold on to me. And that long pointed head popped out from above and over the edge and threw down a big hand from up on a ledge. A size 42 hand grabbed the yak and held tight, and 22 kids, like the tail of a kite, flew through the air, whipping round in the wind. They flopped and they snapped, they'd jerk and they'd spin, and Warren Galoot poked pigeon-toed feet deep into the mud, and would not be beat by forces too fierce for man, woman, or beast. As the going got tougher, his courage increased, saying, I'm a galoot and I have good luck. You can't get me down. I never give up. He pulled up and saved first the yak, then the teacher. The kids holding on to the foot of the creature were tugged and reeled in, each one at a time, but then started slipping in rain and the slime, and skidded and slid with grunts and a hiss right off the edge into the abyss. And everyone fell through the air with a shriek, down, down, and down, right into the creek. 2,000 feet they fell into that stream, into water so icy they started to scream, you big galoot, you're a big zero. We thought you might save us, but you're not a hero. The river was fast and the current was swift. Out of control, they were tossed and they drift, swept away down the stream, pulled apart one and all, when around the next bend came a huge waterfall. The flow quickly quickened. They then heard that roar, louder than anything they'd heard before. They kicked and they swam. The water went faster. Was this it? The end? The final disaster? Well, all of a sudden, huge hands came a-flapping, determined and certain, firm, overlapping, gathering speed, an impossible scene. Warren Galoot was swimming upstream. He huffed and he puffed. I have good luck. You can't keep me down. I never give up. The teacher grabbed hold and held on to the yak, who grabbed the Galoot and held on to his back. As Warren kept stroking, she reached out her hand and grabbed one, then another. They headed for land. Cora Gunderson, 22 kids, and a yak were counting on Warren, the one they'd attacked, to pull them to safety, away from the falls. They shouted at him, and he heard their calls. Go, Big Galoot, 'cause you have good luck. You never go down, 'cause you never give up. Well, they almost made it, but the rock that he gripped was covered with green. He held on, but he slipped. They scrambled. They panicked, but were all swept away when, with his last breath, they heard Warren say, Hold on to me. I'm so big that I float. We'll go over the falls, but I'll act like a boat. The roar, it roared louder. The water was crashing. They held on to Warren, feet kicking and splashing, faster and faster. Before they could think, they came to the falls and went over the brink. Billions of gallons of water came down, a clamor, a racket, a thunderous sound crashed all around them. They fell through the roar, tumbling and tossing through water galore, and finally splashed into a deep pool that swirled into rapids so mean and so cruel. They were battered and bashed and swept away fast. They held on for dear life, but how long could this last? Finally, the current slowed down. The Big Galoot bobbed and drifted. The kids didn't drown. But tattered they floated slowly to shore, with everyone thankful like never before. Jewel the yak pulled the kids up on land. Mrs. Gunderson tried to give Warren a hand, but grabbing his arm, she was worried to death when that Big Galoot was not breathing a breath. Pull him up on the bank, she said with a yelp, and they waded back in to give him some help. They pulled and they tugged him up on the sand. The teacher said, Everyone give me a hand. I'll pull on his jaw and squeeze on his nose, blow air in his mouth. You loosen his clothes. Quickly they worked. She blew the air in. They pushed on his chest. She did it again, over and over. They wouldn't give up, would not let him down. He needed good luck. A burble they heard, then a gurgle, a glump. Then water shot out of his mouth like a pump. Pumped through a hose to put out a fire. That great gush of water went higher and higher. He coughed and he hacked. He sputtered and blinked. And then, with a weak grin, he drooped and he slinked. And faintly he said, Are you okay? Hope no one got hurt. Bet you're tired. What a day. And all the kids cheered and gave a salute. We love you, big guy, you big old Galoot. You were a friend even when we were bad. You never stopped smiling. You never got mad. How do you do it? What can we do? We want to change to be just like you, to whistle and be happy, contented, carefree. Is it your smile? Well, what can it be? Is it your clothes? The size of your hands? Tell us the secret. We're your fans. Up on one elbow, the Big Galoot shook, felt bashful and humble, and tried not to look. He stared at the ground, he gazed in the air, and stuttered, Well, gee, it's just that I care. And scratching his head and poking the ground, said, Gosh, there's an angel I've felt that I've found right here inside me that lives in my heart, like love and big laughter and every good part of everything good that's happy and free. When I need good luck, well, it just comes to me. She's in everybody, every color and shape, calling our names and trying to take all of our hands and show us the way to the happiest place, to the happiest day, to do the right thing, to go where we should, to never go wrong, but always be good. She's right there inside, to bring you good luck. If you never let down and never give up. If you never give up, on this you can bet. You just never know how good it might get. The Middleburg School was never the same. Everyone grew, every kid overcame the need to make fun or try to degrade anyone different who came to invade their little class in their little school. From that day forward, they followed new rules. They wore pointed hats and made pigeon-toed feet, tied their ties tight, and whenever they'd meet anyone different, they'd put out a big glove, smile, say hello, greet them with love, find out who they were, and try not to fight. 'Cause it was better to be happy than always be right. And forever after, they had a new motto. From that day forward, they'd say in staccato, we're all galoots and we have good luck. You can't get us down. We never give up. And they never did. And Warren Galoot, well, he grew up, married his girlfriend, Perky Galore, invented a computer, had 5 kids, and retired with $100 billion. And they all lived happily ever after.
That was great.
That was great.
That was fun, huh? Well, Mick, boy, that was. Did you like that, Solomon? It was
Yeah.
a little long, huh?
Yeah.
It was interesting, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like the way he writes. You know, there's a couple other books we're not going to get to, like Why Willie Wouldn't by Lillian Freeman. That's Mark Freeman's mom, and that was a great book. We read that. And Grandpa for Sale, written by Dottie Enderly and Vicky Sansom. Yeah, that was also good. Remember the grandpa that they were gonna, the person wanted to buy, that he was asleep in the antique store.
Yeah.
That was really good. We'll read those another time. You know, I don't know. There's something about that just meant a lot to me, Mick. You know, this whole year has been just tons of fun. I was thinking about a song when I was listening to that. Mick, are you falling asleep?
Almost.
Let's play this song by you call him the greatest.
The Beatles.
Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. There's no way you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. you need. Love is all 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 you need.
Loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah.
She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's one of the best parts of that song, don't you think?
Yeah,
Who was that? Do you know?
that was the greatest, the Beatles.
The Beatles. That's right.
Yep.
You're getting pretty good at that stuff, Nick.
Yeah.
Well, I keep on, putting on different songs. So, now one of the things that I thought was, like we talked about before, one of the fun things was the different people who did different things on our show and different promos for us. Like, remember this one, Mick?
Oh, yeah.
Arthur Leland.
This is Arthur Leland, and you're listening to KRUU-LP 100.1 FM. Sleepy Time with Grandpa D. Fairfield, Iowa. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa D. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa D. KRUU-LP. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa D. KRUU-LP 100.1. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa D. KRUU-LP 100.1. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa D. Fairfield. KRUU-LP 100.1. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa D. Fairfield. KRUU-LP 100.1. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa D. Fairfield. KRUU-LP
Solomon.
Sleepy Time with the Grandpa Fairfield. Solomon. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa Fairfield. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa Fairfield. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa Fairfield. Sleepy Time with the Grandpa Fairfield.
Boy, that Ricky Lee. I added a few other things to that, but thanks to Arthur Leland for that. We have a new guest. Do you want to introduce our new guest, Ricky Lehmann?
This is Rick Lehmann.
Actually, Rick Lehmann.
Ricky Lee.
Yeah, we call him Ricky Lee. Rick, welcome. Good to have you.
Calling me a guest. Thank you, sir.
One of the family. Everybody here's family. That's the nice thing about Sleepy Time. We're all part of the family, and that's kind of makes this show so nice. Mick, I thought before I played Arthur, I was thinking you might be falling asleep, so I'm glad to see you're still awake. We got Rick here. We got Solomon. Oh, I'm losing him too. You're nodding off too. And we would open the windows, which is much cooler outside, but then the train comes and I go, whoa. So, but it's so nice to have this studio. KRUU is all listener supported. All the people who make this station possible. There's I think over 100 show hosts and DJs, and we have 24/7. We have radio shows, and almost every single show is a local show, produced locally. We got all kinds of music, from country music and just tons of different shows that people can enjoy. So everything from politics to old time music, movie music. It's really
Rock
great.
and roll.
Yeah, so we're really happy you're listening in and being a part of this show. We've got music that we play, all the time and different people who've joined us. Remember when Vocal Point came to Fairfield?
Oh, yeah,
the group
Vocal
from
Point.
BYU. And they were so nice to us. Remember what they did?
Not sure.
Yeah. Let's listen.
We're Vocal Point, and you're listening to Sleepy Time with Grandpa D.
Sleep.
nice. I remember that. That was really, really cool. And then, do you remember, I asked a friend of mine. She came to Fairfield, and she was, really tired because she worked, come here and travel, some of the artists that come in, but she still took the time to do this for us.
Man, that's great.
Hi, this is Rachel Ries, and I performed recently in Fairfield. Make sure to listen in to Sleepy Time with Grandpa D, children's stories and sweet, sweet music. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. here on KRUU-LP 100.1 FM, the voice of Fairfield, Iowa.
And when Rachel came, she brought her friend, Anaïs, and Anaïs also has a new album out. They both have brand new albums out. Really fabulous.
That's really good.
And Anaïs has such a distinctive voice.
This is Anaïs Mitchell, and you're listening to Sleepy Time with Grandpa D, the only radio show I know whose main purpose it is to put its listeners to sleep. All on KRUU-LP 100.1 FM, the voice of Fairfield, Iowa.
I like that. I really do. Remember, Mick, when we first started, we didn't have that Sleepy Time theme song that Sharon did for us after about the 6th. And the first time, the first song we did, we'll play at the end of our show. But after that, for the 2nd through about the 5th show, remember we played the song by Livingston Taylor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like one of the songs that I used to sing you guys to sleep with. I love this song called Pajamas.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dee-doo, dee-doo, doo-doo, dee, doo, ba, bee, doo, dee, doo, doo, hey. I've got my pajamas on. Before I go to bed, I'm going to run around. I'm standing on my head. The world is upside down. And Wilson, my teddy bear, we're gonna do a lot of wiggling before we go upstairs. Watch out, you lions, you tigers, you bears. I've got my pajamas on. Mama said, put them on, and I said no. Daddy said, let's go. I said, all right. I'm clean and I'm warm and I'm out of sight. I've got my pajamas on. I'm in Daddy's lap, fading fast. Wilson, if you wanna mess around, you're gonna have to do it alone. I love being little and I love being grown. I've got my pajamas, got my pajamas, I got my pajamas on.
That was nice, Mick. That's Pajamas. Mick, we are not going to have a time for any of the stuff that we wanted to play. Because we have so many people who've come in and called. We could do this show for 3 hours, never mind 1 hour.
Yeah, really.
But it's so nice. Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock, Sleepy Time with Grandpa D. Now, it's been a year we've been doing this every Tuesday night. And it's really been... Every time we do it, we always play one James Taylor song. Almost every single Tuesday night. Just kind of... Oh, we got another call? James Moore, our great leader. Hi, who's with us?
It's your best friend, Shadoe Stevens.
Hey, Shadoe. Wow, how fantastic to hear from you.
Well, I just called to say happy birthday.
Wow, how nice of you. We just read the Big Galoot.
Oh, awesome.
And it was awesome. It was just a wonderful book. I want to thank you again for sharing that with all of us because it's really a fabulous book. What a great lesson. I just get caught up in that book every time I read it.
Yeah, that's really good.
You.
Mickey wants to say hi to you too.
Hey, Shadoe.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm really good today. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah, we can't wait for the story about Perky Galore, who he got to go marry. Is there another book somewhere in the works?
Well, the Perky Galore book is about, 60% done, but I have so many other projects that it's got kind of put on the back burner. I also wrote 2 more Big Galoot books that are like little books, Big Galoot Jr., I call them.
Oh, well, we can't wait. I sure hope that you share us sometime soon, because I've just really been thrilled to read that, and hope that more people can get. Now, if somebody wanted to get a hold of this book now, can they do so or no?
Yes, you can buy it online at buygoodbook.com. Buygoodbook.com.
Boy, that's simple enough. Even I remember that.
I think it's something you could remember, because the company is called Optimistical, but you have to know how to spell Optimistical. So I just got another domain name, buygoodbook.com, and thought, well, that ought to do it.
No, that's fantastic. So nice of you to call us. And, it's our first year on the show, and it's the station's 1-year anniversary, too. So,
oh, great. Well, give my best to everyone there.
We really appreciate you taking the time out there in celebrity land, and taking the time with us people out here in the middle of Iowa. It was very nice of you to call.
It was my pleasure. Have a good night.
Thanks a lot, Shadoe. We'll see you.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Wow. That was exciting. Well, Mick, I don't know if we can get much better than that, huh? That was nice, wasn't it?
Oh, it's awesome.
Wasn't that great, Solomon? The guy that wrote the book gives us a buzz, and we weren't even expecting that. That was really, really great. Well, Mick, I know you've got a song that... Oh, you want to do that? No, we've done that. We've done all that. I thought you wanted to do...
Okay, all right.
Or do you want to do this one? Let's do this one, because we're going to do James at the end.
The music on Grandpa D.
We've been playing a lot of different music for you. One of the songs that I really wanted to share with you is from a guy named Sam Beam and Iron and Wine. And I just like this song. I think it's a remake, but it's beautiful. Kind of settle us down, because we're getting a little bit sleepy now. Sam Beam, Iron and Wine, and we've been trying to connect with Sam. We're not going to tonight, but we will sometime. He's a really amazing artist. I hope you've enjoyed our show tonight. We've really enjoyed bringing it to you. Before we sign off, we want to play one more song. We want to thank again FPAC for being here with us at the studio. We hope we can do more of these things down the road. We hope people can listen in and support KRUU 100.1 FM, the voice of Fairfield, Iowa, a totally grassroots, listener-supported, radio station right here in Fairfield. It's really a lot of fun. When we first started, we started with this song, and I thought it would be really great, for us to finish with this song. Mick, good to see you here. Were you eating a cookie or something? Oh, yeah. I figured I got you, but that's all right. Nobody will know. It's just our secret.
Yeah, it's just our secret here.
All us and all of Fairfield.
And all who are listening throughout the country.
This is a wonderful world. It's with Art Garfunkel. It's with James Taylor, Paul Simon. I think Carly Simon's in it. Or Carole King, I forget. But boy, nice song and a great way that we started the year. We might as well finish it. We look forward to a little more. This is Wonderful World.
What a wonderful, wonderful world this would be. What a wonderful, 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 wonderful world. Don't know much about history. Don't know much biology. Don't know much about science book. Don't know much about the French I took. But I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too. What a wonderful, wonderful world this would be. Don't know much about geography. Don't know much trigonometry. Don't know much about algebra. I don't know what a slide rule is for. But I do know 1 and 1 is 2. And if this one could be with you, then wonderful world. What a wonderful, wonderful world this would be. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful world. Now I don't claim to be an A student, but I'm trying to be. I think that maybe by being a student, baby, I could win your love for me. Don't know much about the Middle Ages. Looked at the pictures and I turned the pages. Don't know nothing about no rise and fall. Don't know nothing about nothing at all. Girl, it's you that I've been thinking of. And if I could only win your love, what a wonderful, wonderful world this would be. What a wonderful, wonderful world this would be. What a
What a wonderful world indeed. Thank you all for being with us. This is Grandpa D.
And Nikki D.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Again.